Okay, so you'll list your own things. I mean, I have what you have to list, but that's what you're gonna do today. You're gonna list your own things. So number 1 says a list of clothing. So write a sentence listing different pieces of clothing that you can wear. Okay, so go ahead. I'll give you about a minute and a half. Mhm.
Do we like black socks?
Yeah. Yes, I. Okay, so number 1, you're writing a sentence listing different pieces of clothing that you could wear.
Done, students. She put that crayon in her mouth.
Okay, let's see. Could you show me some sentences? Let's see. I want to see them on the screen to make sure that we're placing our commas the correct way. Let's see. Okay, I see it, Harlem. Good. Okay, mom told me to wear socks, pants, shirt, and jacket. Good. Okay, awesome. Okay, good, Solomon. Anybody else is not done? Still working? Okay. Okay, good. All right, number 2, a list of favorite colors. So you can pick 4 colors, okay? If you want more, you can do more. But the requirement is for 4. Write a sentence listing 4 of your favorite colors.
I got a lot of colors. I only have 1.
I said 4. Thank you.
Can we put I at the start? I'm not putting on I have a lot of more favorite colors. Miss Blue, can I put another favorite color in the 4th one?
Huh?
Color after the 4th one.
That's fine.
I have a lot.
Okay.
I don't have the gray.
I don't have one either.
No, you have one. Wait, you ready?
Just go ahead and put it on the screen when you're done so I can look.
I'm done.
Okay.
I didn't miss
The
Claudia.
rainbow has the color blue, red, yellow. Okay. I like purple, green. Okay. I like red, blue. Okay, good. All right, and let's go to number 3. List of grocery store items. So if you went grocery shopping, what are 5 items you could buy from the grocery store, or 5 items that you like when your parents buy it? Or unless you're buying the food. I don't know. But yes, 5 items from the grocery store that you like to purchase. Five. I don't know. Okay, good, Harlem.
I just have finished.
Okay. All right, let's see. Oh, good. Yeah. All right, awesome. So this is good, Hannah. Okay, so this is what you can expect on the test tomorrow. We'll have some that you'll fix and you'll create your own tomorrow as well. Also, I have a little bit of subject and predicate on there, which shouldn't be too bad. Awesome. All right, that's it for writing. Let's go on to phonics. We're on a new chart, chart 11. Yeah.
Who?
Who just asked? Okay. No, y'all did not.
Brian? Is it Brian?
She knows.
Miss Livens, tomorrow can I hold the other chart?
All right.
I know what chart 11 is like.
So here is chart 11. I'll put it here on the screen. Okay, so today you can say it after me on today. Yesterday, I think I went over it on my own, but you can say it after me today. Okay. So that's math, yeah, spelling work pages 18 and 19.
That is not chart 11. This is chart 11?
Yep, chart 11.
That's not chart 11. Wait, I see it, but it's chart 11 though.
Yeah, okay. All right, let's go. Chart 11. So after me. O says in shovel.
O says in
shovel. Sorry, I had to make sure it's correct. A says in banana.
A says in banana.
C says in city.
C says in city.
AU says in faucet. AW says in saw. EA says in leaf. EA says in thread. EA says A in steak.
EA says A in
IE says E in brownie.
IE
Oh my Lord, what is that? EY says E in key.
EY says E in
EY says A in obey. PH says in phone.
PH says in phone.
Put it on. CH says in chorus.
GH says in chorus.
OUGHT says ought in thoughts.
OUGHT says ought.
AUGHT says ought in caught.
AUGHT says ought in caught.
G says in giant.
G says in giant.
And DGE says in fudge. Awesome. All right. So yesterday we covered sounds O that said O and A that say excuse me, and C that says. Now remember, when it comes to that C, we only say the C sound if it's by an E, I, or Y. So today we'll move on to our next two sounds on chart 11, which are A and AW. A. AUR, AWR.
Ma'am,
AUR.
can I go get a mask?
What happened to the one that you? Okay, so look at the first word, AUR and CH. What's the word?
Launch.
Launch. Next one, we have AWR. What's the word?
Jigsaw.
Jigsaw. Next, AUR. What's the word? Fault. Last one, AWR, SH. What's the word? Shawl. Like you wear a shawl. Women wear. A shawl?
No, no.
Oh. All right, let's go over some sounds. Okay. TCH says in patch. Okay. Oh no. All right, this is what chickens do from their egg. They good. EAR says ear, like in ear. After December, we will have a new year. It'll be 2022. EAR says air, like in bear. This is a fruit. Pear. EAR, that's what Pinocchio had that, huh? EAR says like in earth. This is whenever you lose something, you have to search for it. MB says like in lamb. This is what some people do with mountains.
Climb.
Anybody climb the mountain?
No, I'm not there. No. I tried to.
You tried to climb a mountain? Okay.
I tried it.
I'm coming. Hold on. I have to.
This was time for Carly.
No.
I can't do it. I tried. No.
Just put it on for now. Just put it on for now.
Or just. I tried.
Okay. OLD says old, like in gold. Okay. This is whenever you want to, whenever someone wants to buy something from you, after they buy it, that means you sold. Yes. EW says you, like in few. EW says you, like in flew. Okay. This is what our teeth help us to do. Chew and tear the food up. Suffix Y that says E, like in rainy. All right. This is whenever someone has a lot of strength. They are mighty. R says like in bigger. Another suffix. This is the opposite of quieter. Louder. S like in big S. Okay. If this is the opposite of tallest. Smallest. LY says lee, like in slowly. This is whenever you want to get something done right away. You do it quickly. EN says in, like in sharpen. Okay, whenever it's too bright in the room, you close the curtains so that you can darken the room. PS says S, like in peaches. Okay, this is what you do with the dishes. Wash it. Yeah. IND says I'm, like in kind. Okay, this is our brain. We can think in our brain because of our mind. Brain is our mind. O says like in shovel. Okay. If your mother has a son, then he is your brother. A says like in banana. This is the country above America. Canada. Canada is above the U.S. Remember we visited Canada last year. Toronto. We did. C says like in, we did though. Like in city. Okay. In order to buy something at the store, to make sure you have enough money, you have to check the price. AU says like in faucet. Okay. If you're watching a movie and you have to walk away, you don't want to miss anything, what do? AW says like in saw. This is what crabs have. All right, awesome. All right, so next part of our so today we are learning a new type of sentence. So we've learned declarative, which is a statement. It tells us something and gives us information. And we've learned an interrogative sentence, which is a question, ends with a question mark. Today we are learning the next type. Anybody knows the word here? What kind of sentence is the next? Anybody knows this word? No?
No.
Exclamation.
Okay, what you have? Try it out. Okay, it's close. Somebody said exclamation. I mean, it's similar, but not quite. Exclamation has T-I-O-N. It's called an exclamatory sentence or exclamatory. It's one of those two. So you can say exclamatory or exclamatory sentence. So that means it's an exclamation sentence. That's basically what it means. Now, we did learn our sentences last year. Does anyone remember what does it mean if a sentence is an exclamation sentence? What does that mean? Exclamation sentence. What type of sentence is that? So declarative is a statement. It tells us something. Interrogative asks a question. What type of sentence would be exclamatory? What type of sentence? Let's see, Brian.
I saw the flag.
Yeah, it does have an exclamation mark, but how do we know that it's that type of sentence? That's what I'm asking. Solomon.
When someone is surprised.
Okay, yeah, that's close. Yes, if someone is surprised. There's something in particular though that helps us to figure out this sentence. Hannah?
Excitement.
Okay, yes, excitement. So yes, all of those are right. So anytime we have a sentence that requires a lot of emotion, it's sudden or strong feeling, a lot of emotion into it, it is called an exclamatory sentence. Anytime someone has a sentence where there's a lot of excitement, surprise, anger even, if you would say it with a loud voice, with a lot of emotion, it's an exclamatory sentence. So if I would say, the girl ran across the road, that's not, that, you know, I don't need any emotion. That's a declarative sentence. We're just saying something. But look at the examples I have here. I have, we won the game. That's something that you would have a lot of emotion into saying, right? Especially if you win, you're excited. So you would say, we won the game. So this would be an example of an exclamatory sentence. It's a lot of emotion. You're excited. So exclamatory sentences end with a question. Question mark. With an exclamation mark.
Love you, joy,
So yes, an exclamatory sentence ends with an exclamation mark. So this is another sentence that ends differently than a period. Screens on. This will be my last time addressing the screens issue. Please put your screens on. Thank you. Exclamatory sentence. So they show feeling. So again, we won the game. That's a lot of feeling. You are excited about that. So this would be one. It's my birthday. I'm sure you would be excited about that. So you would say that with a lot of emotion and expression. It's my birthday. Next, he ran fast. So all of these three sentences all have a lot of emotion and excitement behind them. So they are exclamatory sentences because you are super excited. Anytime you have a sentence where there's a lot of excitement, emotion, surprise, even anger, you would use, they are identified as an exclamatory sentence and you place an exclamation mark at the end. Now, again, you can't just place it at the end of anything. Like if I would say, I went home, exclamation mark. No, that's a regular sentence. Or even if I say, are you coming? No exclamation mark. That's a question. That's an interrogative sentence. Okay, does anybody have some examples of some exclamatory sentences that they can think of? Okay, Amina. I'm going to school tomorrow. Okay, if you're excited about that. Evan?
Today is Friday.
Today is Friday. That's something to be excited about. Okay, Josiah?
I'm going to the park.
I'm going to the park. Okay, yeah, something to be excited about.
Wait, what? You called me?
Yeah.
Today is Friday. I mean
That is like
Saturday.
literally what you just said. Okay, it's the weekend. That's something to be excited about. Okay, Hannah.
You're at my house.
You're at my house.
Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah, you're excited to see someone at your house. Okay, good. Solomon.
It's the weekday.
Hmm?
It's the weekday.
It's okay, it's a weekday. Yep. Okay, cool. So all of these are examples of exclamatory sentences that you could use. And that so you'll have it in your book. You won't be today, maybe tomorrow, Friday, you'll have it in your workbook pages where they'll introduce it to you. So today we don't meet, so that's why I'm introducing it. So this is our third type of sentence. So we have declarative, interrogative, and now exclamatory type of sentence, and then we'll have our last one we'll be learning real soon as well. Okay? All right, so that is it for phonics. We will move on to our math lesson. Moving on. Just getting them out the way. So I want to discuss Venn diagrams. Remember, I did introduce it on yesterday.
Oh yeah, the diagram. These students.
Uh-huh.
I did that circle correction.
Oh, the Venn diagram?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we were going to discuss it as well.
Get our math book. No. How much students? No, get our math book.
Okay. All right. 1 second. Okay, can someone help them out? Okay, Hannah. So what number month is May?
5.
5. May is the 5th month. January, February, March, April, May. 5th month. Okay, so then what do I do next, Hannah? I put the 5 for May.
Okay, and then 28.
Okay, 28. I put the day. And then how do I show the year?
Oh, 9.
Put the last two numbers. 09. 5/28/09. Next, we have November 1st, 2017. Let's take this date and turn it into the digital date. Okay, go ahead, Carly.
Put 11.
Okay, November is the 11th month.
And first,
Good. 1 for the day.
and put 17. 1/7.
Yes, and 1/7. Good. 11, 1, 17. Awesome. Okay, next I have September 16th, 2019. Camille, go ahead and change this one.
September is the 9th month.
Okay, 9,
16,
16,
19.
19. Last two numbers. Good. So that's how we take the written date and turn it into the digital date. So you'll keep practicing that. Okay, so that's what I wanted to go over in math, the Venn diagram. So just remember, you have one side that's only, but whenever it asks for how many total or all together, make sure to count that middle section because the middle means both. So you have to count it either way, okay? All right, let's go ahead and do our reading.
Yay, read it.
So you're reading about Pinocchio.
Yay, Pinocchio. Wait,
We're on page 100.
Oh yeah, page 100.
So if you remember, there was a wood carver. His name was Geppetto. And so Geppetto decided to make a puppet one day. And he made his puppet, and his name was Pinocchio. He taught Pinocchio a couple of things. One of the things he taught him was how to walk. And whenever Pinocchio started to walk, he started to run, and Pinocchio eventually ran out of the house, ran away. He met the cricket. The cricket told him he needed to stay home. And Pinocchio only went back home because he was hungry, right? So the cricket told him it was time for him to stay at home. Yes, that he would stay at home. And so he did stay home. He was hungry. He tried to find food, didn't find anything. And he fell asleep by the fire. When he wakes up, what happened to his legs? They burned off. So when Geppetto comes back, he's like, "Oh, father, I missed you." And Geppetto says, "Pinocchio, I don't want you to run away." So Pinocchio was like, "I'm hungry." Geppetto fed him some pears. And then Pinocchio asked for legs. Geppetto said, "I'll give you legs, but don't run away." So he made Pinocchio new legs. Pinocchio promised that he would go to school. He even had clothing for school, right? So this is what he promised. So let's pick up on 100 about that. Well, let's see what Pinocchio does, if he keeps his word or not. Come on. Okay, 100.
You do not look fine, said Geppetto, but always remember that fine clothes do not make a diamond. I am dressed for school, said Pinocchio. Now I need a book. I have no money to buy a book. Wait a minute. Geppetto added. He put on his old coat and went out of the house. Geppetto returned with a book, but his old coat was gone. The poor man had no coat, and it was snowing outside. "Where's your coat, Papa?" asked Pinocchio. "I sold it," replied Geppetto.
Okay, so Geppetto, Pinocchio's ready. He's dressed for school, and now he wanted a book. But Geppetto said, "I don't have no money." He went and got. Okay. So Geppetto doesn't have a coat, and so Pinocchio's like, "Where's your coat?" Let's see where his coat is. Okay, 101. Okay, go ahead, Harlem.
Pinocchio quickly threw his arms out Geppetto's neck and kissed him. As soon as it stopped snowing, Pinocchio left for school. "Today, I shall learn to read," he thought. "Tomorrow, I shall learn to write. The next day, I shall do
Arithmetic.
arithmetic.
That's math.
Then I shall be
Able.
able to earn a lot of money. I will buy a new coat for Papa, a coat with gold buttons." Suddenly, Pinocchio stopped. He thought he heard music. He listened for a few moments. At last, Pinocchio decided, "Today I shall find out what the music is. Tomorrow I shall go to school."
Okay, so Geppetto sold his coat so that he could give Pinocchio a book. So he was really good, for doing that. So Pinocchio's going to school. He's like, "I'm going to learn math, which is arithmetic. I'm going to learn how to read. And then eventually I'm going to get a new coat for Papa." So Pinocchio really had a plan. It seems like he's going to go to school. So as he's going to school, what does he hear? Music, right? So that fast, what does he decide to do?
Sell his coat.
Sells
book.
No, that's because you read ahead. He decides to what? To listen to the music and not go where?
To school.
Now, Pinocchio, come on. All right, page 102. Go ahead, Josiah.
Pinocchio ran on and on. Soon he was in the middle of a crowd. What is this place? He asked. A boy beside him. Read the sign, said the boy. Well, then you will know. But I don't know how to read, Pinocchio said. Then you should be at school, replied the boy. How much does it cost? Asked Pinocchio. 25 cents, said the boy.
Okay. So when Pinocchio arrives, he sees a crowd of people and he's like, oh, what is this? And it was a puppet show. And so, well, at first the boy said, read the sign. And Pinocchio was like, I don't know how to read. And the boy told him he should go where? But of course, Pinocchio does not want to go to school. So instead, he's like, how much does it cost for me to go to the show? And the boy said 25 cents. Now remember, let's see. Well, let's keep going. Okay, Carly?
Pinocchio felt very sad. He did not have any money. I will sell my school book for 25 cents. Pinocchio cried, I will buy it. Called out a man. So the book was sold. Poor Geppetto was at home
Shivering.
He had sold his only coat to buy the book. And Pinocchio didn't even go to school.
Wow. So Pinocchio realizes that it costs 25 cents to go to the show. So he decides to sell what?
A boat.
Now remember,
School
what
book.
did Geppetto have to go through to get the book for Pinocchio?
Sell it.
He sold his coat, right? And it was cold. So that's not right. Pinocchio should have never done that. So he is not making a good choice right now. Okay, 104.
Hello, Pinocchio.
It's 104.
I'm trying to see. Okay, go ahead, Solomon. Yeah, I mean the next. 104, Solomon.
When Pinocchio left the puppet show, he saw a coat full of boys. The coat was drawn by donkeys. They were taking the boys to play. Come to Playland, called the bad boy named Lamplick. I was going to school, said Pinocchio. Then he remembered that he didn't have a book. Well, maybe I could go to Playland first for a little while.
So now Pinocchio leaves the puppet show. Thank you, Solomon. He sees all these boys. Where are they going? Playland, right? And so one of the boys is like, come with us, Pinocchio. So Pinocchio's like, well, I'm going to school. But then he realizes he don't have a book, so he can't even go anyway. So he decides to go where?
Playland.
Playland. Come on, Pinocchio. All right, come on, Amina. 105 and 106.
Pinocchio and Lamplick every day at Playland. All day long they played. One day Pinocchio noticed that Lamplick's ears were growing longer. Then he began to grow a tail. Pinocchio tried to tell Lamplick, but only he laughed. Hee hee ha ha.
Okay, so Pinocchio and Lamplick, they're having fun in Playland, right? They played all day. Amazing, right? But then eventually, Pinocchio starts to see something about Lamplick change. What happened to Lamplick?
He had a tail and a tail.
Yeah, his ears were growing and a tail. But if you remember, what did the cricket say Pinocchio would turn into if he didn't get it together?
donkey.
A donkey. And so it's happening to Lampwick. Okay, 106. Oh, that's Pinocchio. Someone who did not read, 106. Okay, Omar.
Pinocchio felt his ears. They were long and pointed. He also had a tail. The cricket was right, thought Pinocchio. He said, I would be a donkey if I didn't go to school. This must be what happens to lazy boys.
Okay, good. So, Pinocchio starts to turn into a donkey himself. And so he realizes that the cricket was right. And this is what happens to lazy boys who don't go to school. So Pinocchio is turning into look, the cricket center. He's turning into one as well. So 107. Okay, this is our last page for today. Anybody who didn't go would like to do 107 for us?
I do.
Oh, go ahead, Serenity. Is that who said that? I don't know who said it. I couldn't see the screen. Okay, go ahead, Serenity. 107.
Pinocchio and Lampwick were taken to the market and sold. A farmer bought Lampwick. Pinocchio was sold to the circus. He learned the ballet, to jump through hoops and do other tricks. Poor Pinocchio. He had a hard struggle, but everyone loved Pinocchio, the daring donkey.
Okay, so they eventually turn all the way into donkeys, right? So who buys Lampwick? A farmer. And Pinocchio was sold to a circus. So now he's doing tricks in the circus as a donkey. You think that's what Pinocchio wanted to do?
No.
Right? He should have just went to school.
Lampwick turned into a donkey.
Yeah, he was turned into the donkey first. And then Pinocchio eventually did too. So this is not what Pinocchio wanted, but this is what the cricket warned him would happen if he did not do the right thing. And now look where he is. So this is where we'll stop today. So tomorrow when you do your reading, you'll actually finish because it's going to be a lot more that's going to happen with Pinocchio. Then eventually he'll get it together.
Story.
Yes, I told y'all that this is a long story. It's going to take him the whole week.
This is a really long story. Wait, no, it's not. No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
You have to stop to 116.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. So this is where we'll stop today. Awesome. All right. Let's go over our science and social studies. Then we'll be done.
Yay!
Yay!
That was an easy one.
Pinocchio the donkey now.
Miss Lujan.
What time in Texas?
Did you catch the carpenter bee yet?
I didn't like it though. I was in a house.
No, yesterday they weren't outside yesterday, but it's kind of been raining. The weather's been kind of different here, so hopefully I'll see them a little later this week. I'll check again today when I get home, but they weren't there.
Could we read?
Okay, now I'm just gonna go through it. So on page 33.
We don't need our science. I just played it.
Only 3.
No, 33, not 70. Okay, so this week we talked about flowers and stems. Okay, let's go to 35. I'm sorry, 35. Yeah, 35.
Where's my iPad? Keep going.
Maze was school.
Okay.
No.
All right, so flowers are usually the most colorful part of the plant that we see. Also, fruits come from the flower. Like when you eat the fruit of a plant, that's the flower part. So a flower's job is to make seeds. That's what flowers do. If there's no flower, the plant can't make seeds. So flowers make the seeds. How does it happen? With the pollen. The pollen is like that little dust inside of the plant. The pollen is needed to help the flower make the seeds. Pollen travels from flower to flower. How? Well, there's two ways. The wind is one way where the wind blows and the pollen travels. You know, it spreads out and it's, you know, hitting all, and the flowers are pollinating at that time, which is what they have to do so that the flower can make seeds. And also insects, in particular, the honeybee on page 36. The honeybee is the insect that helps the plants to make to pollinate the flowers. So remember, bees, they really go to flowers because they want the nectar. But while the bee is there collecting the nectar from the plant, the bee is also the pollen from a plant is sticking to the bee's legs. And so every time a bee lands on a different flower and another flower and another flower, then the bee is spreading the pollen from flower to flower to flower. So he's helping the flowers pollinate so that they could make more flowers. So bees, they take the nectar because they use the nectar to make honey, but they also pollinate the flowers as well. So bees work in and live inside of their hive, and when they get the nectar, they bring the nectar into their hive and it turns it into honey. So remember, bees, they do sting, but they only sting if they feel danger or they feel threatened. The unfortunate thing is that if a bee stings, their stinger goes with them and they die shortly after stinging someone. So they have a really big job. And so if the bee is not bothering you, let him live, let her live, and just leave them alone because you don't want them to sting and they die, right? Because we need them to pollinate the flowers, okay? All right, so then after that, we went to page 38, and we talked about the next part of a plant, which is the stem. So the flower's job is to make seeds. The stem's job is like a straw. The stem gives water and nutrients to the roots, the flowers, and the leaves, the other parts of the plant. So the stem will suck up the water and nutrients from the roots and give it to other parts of the plant. There are many different kinds of stems. The stem's job is also to hold the plant and to hold the flower and the leaves together. I said yesterday, like if you have a stem and you just break it, the flower is no good anymore. So the stem is one of the stronger parts of the plant that is used to help the plant to grow. Vines are also stems. Vines are different because vines climb. That's what makes them different, right? And I showed you a picture yesterday of what a vine looks like. Grapes grow from vines, okay? Huh? Yeah. So the largest stem, the largest stem in the world, in the plant world, is a tree trunk. So we usually say tree trunk, but really and truly, it's a stem. It's just a really big, huge stem. Okay, largest stem in the world. So that's the two parts of the plant we focused on this week: stems and leaves and flowers. Next week we'll go into leaves, and yeah, we'll just do leaves next week because it's a lot when it comes to leaves. Okay. All right. So that's your science lesson this week. Let's go over our social studies, discussing colonial schools. 57.
Miss Blue Day,
Uh-huh.
may I use the bathroom?
Yes.
Should have been done by now. page, Miss Fulgence? Yeah, we're on the schoolhouse one.
All right, colonial schools. So in colonial towns, they not only had the shops, but they also had the schools for the children. Now their schooling was different from the way that we go to school today. So first of all, the only way they would have a school in a colonial town was if the town was big enough to have a school. If the town was not big enough for them to have a school, the children just learned at home. So some towns that did have schools, they only went to school during certain seasons. Remember, the children, a lot of their parents were farmers, so a lot of the children had to help their parents on the farm. So they would work with their parents. So during like the planting season and the harvest season where they would get everything, the children were not in school. They were working on the farms. But when those seasons were over, which were like maybe like 2 months at a time, 2 or 3 months, when those seasons were over, the children would then go to school during those times where they didn't have to work on the farm. So that's how they did schooling a little differently. I'm sure you all don't go to work with your parents today and help your parents at work, right? You go to work with your parents for a couple of months and then you go to school a couple of months. You don't do that, right? So I'm sure you may have been to their job, but I mean, working with them. So helping them on their job. So that was a way they went to school differently than how we go today. Okay. So on page 58, we talked about how their schoolhouse was set up. So remember, there's no cars, no buses during this time. So the children had to walk to school, and it was often like a couple of miles they would have to walk to get to school. Learning was important to them. They didn't go to school 5 days like us. They went to school 6 days. So that means Saturday was also included in their schooling. In most colonial schoolhouses, there was a man, the teacher, and he was called the schoolmaster. He was the teacher. They only had one room, and no matter how old they were, the children were, they all were in the same classroom. So if you were 7 and someone was 12, they were all in the same classroom learning together. And that's usually because they didn't have like hundreds of children. It was usually like a small number. So they would just learn all together. All together, they would be in the classroom as one. So the children would sit on benches instead of desks, and that's a picture of their benches. And then they had the furnace right there in the middle, which was their heater that would warm them. So if they did not have paper, they would write on birch, or they would write on bark, tree bark. Like if you peel a tree, they will write on the bark of a tree. Okay, so they also were big on learning the numbers, the alphabet, and reading and writing as well. So on page 59, we talked about the horn book, which is how they learn how to read. So a horn book was a thin sheet of paper with a reading lesson written on it and was placed on a piece of wood. So over this was placed a thin sheet of animal horn, which you could see through, and that's how the children would learn their ABCs. Remember, there will be a little, they would have the letter, but then they'll have a little rhyme next to it that would help them remember how to say their alphabets. Okay, so page 60 was just an something you could try and to make one on your own. Okay.
Okay.
We have to do page 60. Can we do it in class?
Okay. All right. Awesome. So that is our social studies lesson this week on colonial schooling and how the children went to school. So that is it for us on today. We've done everything. Oh, well, verbs. Let's go ahead and go over our verbs definition. That's all you have to know this week. I wanted to learn action verbs, but we'll just, since the definition is a little longer, we'll just focus on the definition. So who thinks they have it all the way down without looking? They're like, I can say it.
No.
All on my own.
No.
If not, then you want to study. Okay, so let's see on 3. Let's try it together. What is a verb? 1, 2, 3.
A verb is a word that does an action. An action shows a state of being, links
Your paper.
together, or helps another verb.
Yes, a verb is a word that does an action, shows the state of being, links two words together, or helps another verb. We're writing that today. Yes, that's what a verb is. All of 4 of those things, which we will get into next week. We'll start actions and probably linking, state of being. Okay. All right. Awesome. So that is it for us today, guys. Great job. finishing a little early. Tomorrow we meet for our phonics test, and then on Friday we meet for our spelling test, okay?
Okay.
All right, so that is it for us. You all, if you have to go, you can have a good day on today, okay? All right.